As the years pass and life begins to slow down, many of us find ourselves reflecting more deeply on the paths we have walked. Retirement, quieter days, and more time to think create space for memories to resurface, both pleasant and painful. Reflection is not a sign of weakness. It is a natural stage of aging, one that allows us to gather meaning from the lives we have lived. In these moments of looking back, we often recall the highlights of our journey, the laughter of raising children, the pride of building a career, or the joy of shared milestones with loved ones. These memories remind us of the richness of our experiences and the love we both gave and received. Yet alongside the joy, we may also feel the heavy pull of regrets and guilt over things undone or mistakes made along the way. For many seniors, reflection brings an unexpected emotional weight. The quiet hours, once cherished, can sometimes feel filled with what-ifs. What if I had chosen a different path in work? What if I had spoken kinder words to someone I loved? These thoughts can linger, and the heart can grow heavy under their presence. It's important to remember that this stage of life offers a new lens. When we were younger, life moved so quickly that we rarely had time to stop and evaluate. Now, with the gift of time, we are able to see the full arc of our journey. While this perspective can be sobering, it also provides the chance to see how challenges shaped our character and gave us strength. Reflection also reveals the humanity within us. Every person carries mistakes, missed chances, or painful moments they wish they could change. Realizing that we are not alone in these feelings can be liberating. The weight is lighter when we recognize that imperfection is part of being human. At times, reflection may stir emotions that are hard to face. Sadness for relationships that drifted apart, or guilt for choices that had unintended consequences. Yet these emotions also signal that we care deeply. They show that our actions mattered, that our lives touched others, and that love was present, even if imperfectly expressed. Reflection in later life is not meant to punish us, but to guide us. It helps us sift through our experiences and carry forward the wisdom we have earned. The weight we feel is not a burden to drag us down, but rather a reminder to live more gently and meaningfully in the years we still have. Many elders discover that the more they reflect, the more they long to share their stories. Telling younger generations about mistakes as well as triumphs becomes a way of lightening the load. In sharing, we transform personal regret into collective wisdom, ensuring our struggles serve a greater purpose. The weight of reflection can also spark a powerful desire for healing. It may inspire us to reach out to old friends, offer apologies, or simply reconnect with family members. These acts of courage bring peace not only to us but also to those who have walked alongside us on our journey. Ultimately, reflection in later life teaches us balance. It invites us to honor the past without being trapped in it, to remember our humanity without drowning in guilt. When we carry our reflections with grace, the weight becomes lighter, and we step into each new day with greater peace, clarity, and gratitude. Guilt is one of those emotions that often lingers quietly in the background of our lives. It can arise from small mistakes as well as larger choices that we believe hurt ourselves or others. In later life, with the gift of hindsight, guilt sometimes feels sharper because we finally see the ripple effects of our past actions. This can make the emotion feel heavier than it did in our younger years. For many seniors, guilt takes the form of wondering whether they were good enough parents, partners, or friends. Did we provide the support our children needed? Were we present enough in our marriages or too caught up in work? These questions can circle endlessly in our minds, creating a burden that is difficult to release. What makes guilt particularly challenging is its connection to love. We feel guilt not because we are uncaring, but because we care deeply and fear that we fell short. In a way, guilt is proof of our humanity. It shows that we wanted to give more than we sometimes could. It's also worth remembering that guilt is shaped by the values of the time we lived through. Decades ago, society placed different expectations on men and women, on parents and workers. Some choices we now regret may not have felt like choices at all back then. Understanding this context helps soften the harshness of self-judgment. When reflecting on guilt, it's important to separate what was truly within our control from what wasn't. Many times we did the best we could with the knowledge, resources, and energy we had. Looking back with today's wisdom may create guilt, but that doesn't mean our past selves had the same perspective. Another aspect of guilt in later life is the feeling that it is too late to make amends. This belief often makes the emotion more painful. Yet even if we cannot change the past, we can always change how we carry it. Choosing to approach our memories with compassion instead of condemnation can transform guilt into growth. Guilt can also serve as a teacher. It reminds us of our values and can inspire us to live differently in the present. By recognizing where we wish we had done better, we can adjust how we treat people now, perhaps being more attentive, kinder, or more forgiving than before. Talking about guilt with trusted friends, family, or support groups can help lighten its weight. Sometimes simply sharing our feelings brings relief, as others reassure us that they too have carried similar burdens. The act of speaking guilt aloud makes it less overwhelming. Spiritual practices, whether prayer, meditation, or quiet reflection, often help seniors place guilt in a larger perspective. Faith traditions across the world emphasize forgiveness, reminding us that no one is defined solely by their mistakes. Many elders find peace through these rituals of release. In the end, understanding the nature of guilt is about shifting how we see it. Instead of treating it as a punishment, we can view it as evidence of our caring hearts. And by holding that perspective, we allow ourselves to find healing, peace, and even pride in the fact that we tried to live with love, even when we stumbled. Regret is one of the most common companions in later life. It sneaks in during quiet evenings or when we stumble upon old photographs, whispering questions like, "What if I had chosen differently?" These thoughts can be relentless, replaying moments from decades ago as if they just happened yesterday. Unlike guilt, which focuses on what we did wrong, regret often centers on the paths we never took. For many elders, regret appears in career choices. Some wonder if they should have taken more risks, pursued passions instead of security, or spent less time working and more time with family. Others look back at opportunities missed, education not pursued, friendships that faded, or adventures never started. These thoughts can feel bittersweet, a mixture of longing and sadness. The power of regret lies in imagination. Our minds create vivid pictures of the life we might have had, often painting it as brighter and more successful than the one we lived. But these imagined lives are only stories, not realities. We forget that every choice carries challenges and trade-offs, even the ones we didn't make. Regret also grows stronger because time feels shorter. In youth, we believed there would always be another chance to travel, to love, or to try again. In later life, we realize that opportunities are not endless. This awareness sharpens the sting of what if, making us feel as though certain doors are now permanently closed. Yet regret does not have to be a life sentence. Many seniors discover that reflecting on what ifs helps clarify what truly matters. If we regret not spending enough time with loved ones, we can use that insight to be more present now. If we regret not pursuing creativity, we can finally pick up the paintbrush or write the story we always dreamed of. It's important to acknowledge that regret often comes from wanting a life of deeper meaning. It shows that we longed for more than just survival, that we valued joy, purpose, and connection. When seen in this light, regret becomes a signal of our highest hopes, not just a shadow of loss. Some regrets can even be softened by gratitude. We may regret not taking one path, but if we look closely, the path we did take often gave us treasures we might have missed otherwise. A different career may have led to adventure, but the one we chose gave us family stability. By focusing on what we gained, we rebalance the story we tell ourselves. Sharing regrets openly with others can also be healing. When we speak of our what-ifs, we often hear echoes from friends who carry their own. This shared honesty builds connection, reminding us that no one lives a perfect life. In fact, the imperfections are what make our journeys uniquely human. There is also wisdom in turning regret into mentorship. By telling younger generations about the paths we wish we had taken, we offer them guidance. Our what-ifs can serve as gentle warnings or encouragements, helping others make choices with more awareness and courage. In this way, regret transforms from a burden into a gift. Ultimately, regret and the what-ifs remind us that life is complex and rarely unfolds exactly as planned. Instead of dwelling endlessly on what might have been, we can choose to honor the life we did live, the people we loved, the lessons we learned, and the resilience we built. Each what-if carries wisdom, and when embraced with compassion, regret becomes not a weight, but a teacher guiding us toward peace. Self-forgiveness is one of the most powerful gifts we can give ourselves in later life, yet it is often the hardest to embrace. Many seniors carry decades of memories, and among them are choices they wish they could change. The weight of those choices can feel overwhelming, but self-forgiveness offers a path toward peace. When we forgive ourselves, we acknowledge that we are human, imperfect, flawed, and still deserving of love. Too often, people hold themselves to impossible standards, expecting perfection in roles as parents, partners, or friends. But the truth is, no one lives without mistakes. Forgiveness allows us to accept this reality and move forward with compassion. It helps to remember that the person we were decades ago is not the same as the person we are today. Back then, we made decisions with limited knowledge, shaped by circumstances we could not always control. Self-forgiveness recognizes that growth is a lifelong process, and we can't expect our younger selves to have the wisdom we carry now. Many elders find that self-forgiveness requires speaking kindly to themselves. Instead of repeating harsh inner judgments, "I should have done better," they practice gentler words, "I did the best I could with what I knew at the time." This shift in language softens the heart and begins to heal old wounds. Some people believe that forgiving themselves means excusing their actions. But forgiveness is not about denying mistakes. It's about accepting responsibility without drowning in shame. It's about learning from the past and then choosing to live differently in the present. In this way, forgiveness becomes a bridge between who we were and who we want to be. Self-forgiveness also frees us to mend relationships. When we let go of self-condemnation, we find the courage to reach out, apologize, or simply reconnect. By forgiving ourselves, we open the door to forgiveness from others, creating opportunities for reconciliation and healing. Practices such as journaling, meditation, or prayer can help in this journey. Writing down regrets, acknowledging the lessons learned, and then symbolically letting them go, by tearing the page or offering a prayer, creates a ritual of release. Such practices remind us that forgiveness is not just an idea, but an action we take repeatedly. One of the most important parts of self-forgiveness is recognizing our worth. Even with our mistakes, we still contributed love, wisdom, and effort to the lives of those around us. Holding on to guilt blinds us to the good we have done. Forgiveness allows us to see our lives more fully, with both light and shadow. Sharing the process with others can also be powerful. By admitting that we are learning to forgive ourselves, we encourage others to do the same. This honesty builds deeper connections and reduces the loneliness that regret often brings. It reminds us that forgiveness is a universal struggle, not a private failure. In the end, self-forgiveness is not just about easing guilt, it's about reclaiming joy. It gives us permission to live the years ahead with peace instead of punishment, with love instead of shame. By forgiving ourselves, we honor the entirety of our journey and open our hearts to the beauty of the present moment. One of the heaviest burdens in later life often comes from relationships left unresolved. Whether it's a family member we grew distant from, a friend we lost touch with, or words spoken in anger that we wish we could take back, these unresolved ties can weigh on the heart. Repairing relationships, where possible, offers a profound sense of relief and healing. The first step is courage. Reaching out after years of silence can feel intimidating. We might fear rejection, awkwardness, or the possibility that the other person no longer wishes to connect. Yet even if the attempt isn't perfect, the simple act of trying often brings peace to the one who reaches out. It shows a willingness to heal, which is a gift in itself. Apologies carry incredible power, especially when offered sincerely. A simple statement like, "I regret the distance between us and wish to make amends," can open a door that has been closed for years. Many times, people are waiting for such words, longing for reconciliation but unsure how to begin. Taking the first step can unlock healing for both sides. Repair doesn't always mean restoring the relationship to what it once was. Sometimes, people have changed too much or circumstances no longer allow for closeness. Even so, a brief reconnection, a conversation, a letter, or a kind gesture can close the gap in the heart. The goal is not always to rebuild, but to release the pain of unfinished business. It's also important to accept that not all attempts will succeed. Some people may not be ready to forgive or reopen old ties. In those cases, reaching out still has value. We can walk away knowing we tried, which eases the burden of regret. The effort itself is an act of love, even if it goes unanswered. For many seniors, repairing relationships starts within the family. Tensions between siblings, children, or even grandchildren can create lasting sorrow. Choosing to listen more, judge less, and express love openly can begin to mend those cracks. Family bonds, even strained ones, often respond to patience and persistence. Friendships, too, are worth revisiting. Old friends who once felt like family may be just a phone call away. Reconnecting can bring joy, laughter, and the comfort of shared history. It can also remind us that while time passes, genuine bonds never completely disappear. Repairing relationships also includes forgiveness, not only of ourselves but of others. Holding on to resentment keeps us chained to the past. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or excusing hurtful actions. It means choosing peace over pain. Forgiving others often brings as much healing to us as it does to them. Spiritual and community practices can support this process. Many people find guidance in faith traditions that emphasize reconciliation, while others turn to support groups or counselors to help navigate the emotional journey. Seeking help shows strength, not weakness, and provides tools to make repair possible. Ultimately, repairing relationships where possible is about love. It's about recognizing that life is too short to hold on to bitterness or distance. Even small steps toward healing can bring a profound sense of peace, ensuring that our later years are not overshadowed by regret but illuminated by connection and forgiveness. One of the greatest challenges in later life is learning to accept what cannot be changed. We often look back on moments we wish we could rewrite, decisions made in haste, opportunities missed, or relationships that slipped away. The mind sometimes clings to these memories, replaying them endlessly in the hope that reflection alone might alter them. But the past is fixed, and peace comes not from changing it, but from accepting it. Acceptance is not the same as approval. We do not have to like everything that happened in our lives, nor pretend it was all good. Instead, acceptance means acknowledging reality as it is, without fighting against it. It means saying, "This happened, and though I may wish it were different, I will no longer let it steal my present." Many elders struggle with the feeling that accepting the past equals giving up. But acceptance is not resignation, it is strength. It takes courage to face reality without denial. In fact, by accepting what cannot be changed, we reclaim energy that would otherwise be wasted on battles we cannot win. This kind of acceptance often brings freedom. When we stop fighting against what has already happened, we open ourselves to the richness of what is still possible. The years ahead may not be as long as those behind, but they are filled with opportunities for joy, love, and meaning, if we allow ourselves to embrace them. For example, a person who regrets not pursuing higher education may carry that sorrow for decades. Acceptance doesn't erase the regret, but it allows them to celebrate the knowledge gained through experience instead. Similarly, someone who wishes they had been a different kind of parent can accept that while the past is unchangeable, they can still nurture relationships with their children and grandchildren today. Practices like mindfulness and meditation can help cultivate acceptance. These practices teach us to observe our thoughts without judgment, to let them pass like clouds across the sky. Over time, we learn that we are not our regrets, and that acceptance is a gentle way of loosening their grip on us. Stories and traditions also remind us of the wisdom of acceptance. Many spiritual teachings emphasize surrender, trust, and the idea that life unfolds as it must. Seniors often find comfort in these perspectives, seeing acceptance not as defeat but as harmony with the flow of life. Acceptance also means being kind to ourselves. Instead of harsh self-criticism for things we cannot undo, we practice compassion. We remind ourselves that everyone carries moments of sorrow, and that our mistakes do not erase the good we have given to the world. Compassion softens acceptance, turning it into a balm for the heart. It is equally important to understand that acceptance is a process, not a one-time decision. There will be days when regrets resurface with force. On those days, acceptance may mean simply reminding ourselves that the past is done, and gently guiding our focus back to the present. With practice, the grip of regret weakens over time. Ultimately, accepting what cannot be changed is an act of liberation. It allows us to step into the later years of life with peace instead of pain, presence instead of longing. By embracing acceptance, we free ourselves to live fully in the moments we still have. Moments that, when treasured, can outweigh even the deepest regrets of the past. As we enter the later chapters of life, many of us begin to ask deeper questions about purpose and meaning. With careers concluded, children grown, and routines quieter, it's natural to wonder what our role is now. Far from being a time of decline, these years can become a rich season of discovery, where meaning is found in new and surprising ways. For some, meaning emerges through connection with family. Spending time with grandchildren, sharing stories, and passing down wisdom creates a sense of legacy. These moments remind us that our lives extend beyond ourselves, continuing through the love and values we instill in the next generation. Others find purpose in giving back to the community. Volunteering, mentoring, or offering guidance to younger people transforms years of experience into valuable contributions. What once felt like regret can be reshaped into wisdom when shared with those who still have much of life ahead of them. Creative expression also offers a pathway to meaning. Retirement opens the door to pursuits once set aside: painting, writing, music, or gardening. These activities not only bring joy but also allow us to leave behind something tangible that reflects who we are and what we cherish. Spiritual growth often becomes a deeper focus in later life. Whether through organized religion, personal prayer, or quiet reflection, many seniors find meaning in exploring life's bigger questions. This search offers comfort, grounding, and a sense of peace with both the past and the future. For some, meaning is found in simply being present. After decades of striving, competing, and building, the later years allow us to slow down and savor ordinary moments. The laughter of friends, the beauty of nature, or the calm of a peaceful morning. These small joys remind us that meaning doesn't always come from grand achievements. Health challenges, which often come with age, can also shift our perspective. While they may limit what we can do physically, they often sharpen our awareness of what truly matters. Many seniors discover meaning in resilience, in gratitude for what remains possible, and in the courage to face life's realities with grace. Relationships outside of family can also hold profound meaning. Friendships, old and new, provide support, laughter, and understanding. In these connections, we find reminders that companionship is one of life's greatest treasures, regardless of age. Sometimes finding meaning means reframing regrets. Instead of seeing missed opportunities as failures, we can view them as part of the unique path that shaped who we are today. Every twist and turn, even the painful ones, contributes to the depth of our character and the lessons we can share. Ultimately, meaning in later years is less about what we do and more about how we live. It is found in love, gratitude, and the choice to approach each day as a gift. By focusing on what we can still give and experience, we ensure that our later years are not defined by loss but illuminated by purpose. In later life, one of the most transformative practices we can adopt is embracing joy and gratitude. Too often, the focus can fall on what has been lost: youth, opportunities, or loved ones who are no longer with us. While grief and regret are real, they do not have to define our remaining years. Choosing gratitude allows us to see the blessings that still surround us, and joy naturally follows. Gratitude begins with perspective. Instead of dwelling on what we no longer have, we turn our attention to what remains: our friendships, our memories, and the simple pleasures of everyday life. Even the smallest details, like the warmth of morning sunlight or a kind word from a neighbor, can become sources of deep appreciation when viewed through a grateful heart. Joy, on the other hand, is often found in moments we overlook. A shared laugh with a friend, the taste of a favorite meal, or the sound of birds singing outside the window can fill our spirits with lightness. By slowing down and noticing these experiences, we open the door to joy, even in the most ordinary of days. For many seniors, cultivating gratitude means looking back on life with softer eyes. Instead of focusing only on mistakes or regrets, we remember the resilience that carried us through challenges, the kindness we gave and received, and the countless experiences that made life meaningful. This broader perspective helps us recognize that, despite imperfections, our lives have been rich. Research has shown that gratitude improves mental and physical health, lowering stress and increasing overall happiness. For older adults, this practice can bring comfort during times of loneliness or decline. Writing a gratitude journal, where each day a few blessings are listed, creates a steady reminder of the good that still exists. Joy and gratitude also flourish in connection with others. Sharing meals, celebrating milestones, or simply sitting together in quiet companionship strengthens bonds and multiplies happiness. These shared experiences remind us that joy is not just personal. It grows when it is given and received in community. Gratitude can even transform how we view aging itself. Instead of mourning the years gone by, we can feel thankful for the wisdom they have given us, the relationships they nurtured, and the chance to still be here, living and learning. With gratitude, aging becomes not just a loss but a continuation of life's journey. Embracing joy also means allowing ourselves to be playful again. Whether it's dancing, telling jokes, or exploring a new hobby, joy often emerges when we give ourselves permission to let go of seriousness. In laughter and lightheartedness, we find a freedom that transcends age. Spiritual traditions across the world place gratitude at the heart of fulfillment. Prayer, meditation, or reflection on blessings can deepen our sense of connection to something greater than ourselves. Many seniors discover that gratitude brings not just peace, but also a renewed sense of wonder at the mystery of life. Ultimately, embracing joy and gratitude allows us to live our later years with fullness. While we cannot change the past, we can change how we experience the present. Gratitude turns what we have into enough, and joy turns each day into a celebration. Together, they create a foundation for a life that, no matter the age, still shines with meaning and beauty. Reaching the later years of life often stirs reflection, but it also brings an opportunity to step into peace. After carrying guilt, regret, and the weight of memory, there comes a moment when we can choose to move forward with acceptance and grace. Peace is not about forgetting the past. It is about learning to live gently with it while embracing the time we still have. Moving forward with peace begins with forgiveness. When we release the hold of old wounds, both those caused by others and those we caused ourselves, we free space in our hearts. Forgiveness does not erase what happened, but it transforms bitterness into understanding, regret into wisdom, and pain into compassion. Peace also requires presence. Instead of letting our thoughts remain trapped in yesterday, we focus on today, the only moment truly available to us. By living fully in the present, we honor life as it unfolds, creating new memories filled with love and joy instead of clinging to those we cannot change. For many seniors, peace comes from simplifying life. Letting go of unnecessary worries, possessions, and expectations makes room for what truly matters: relationships, kindness, and personal well-being. This simplification is not loss but liberation, giving us freedom to enjoy each day more deeply. spirituality, or faith can be a guiding source of peace. Whether through prayer, meditation, or a quiet trust in the rhythms of life, connecting to something greater helps us accept uncertainty and release fear. It reminds us that we are part of a larger story, one that holds space for both mistakes and redemption. Another path to peace lies in gratitude. By appreciating what remains, the people beside us, the lessons learned, the beauty around us, we shift our focus from longing to fulfillment. Gratitude reframes the narrative of our lives, showing us not just what was lost, but what has been gained along the way. Peace also comes through connection. Reaching out to loved ones, reconciling when possible, or simply enjoying companionship brings a deep sense of belonging. Sharing stories, laughter, and even silence with others helps us move forward together, reminding us that we are never alone. For some, moving forward means embracing creativity and purpose. Writing memoirs, engaging in art, mentoring others, or volunteering allows us to channel energy into something lasting. Purpose gives direction, and when combined with peace, it allows us to leave a legacy of love and wisdom. Of course, peace is not a permanent state but a practice. There will still be days of sadness or regret. On those days, choosing peace may mean taking a walk, speaking kindly to ourselves, or seeking comfort in prayer. Each small choice builds resilience, teaching us to return to peace again and again. Ultimately, moving forward with peace is about choosing how we live the time we have left. Instead of carrying regret like a heavy burden, we can step into the lightness of acceptance. Instead of punishing ourselves for the past, we can honor the journey that brought us here. Peace turns later life into not just an ending, but a beginning, a chance to live with clarity, love, and grace until the very last chapter.